clock at the bottom.
Okay, go.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Would you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Due to the national and state declaration emergency related coronavirus, this council meeting agenda has been condensed to promote social distancing from our audience. We have no introduction. We have one proclamation. It's the
Mayor,
census-
if I may, can we do a roll call?
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Yes. Pretty please.
Please roll call.
Thank you. Councilmember Kelly.
Present.
Councilmember Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Perkins.
Here.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
Councilmember Best.
Here.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Here.
And Mayor Croft.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's go on. Introduction, presentation, and proclamations. I have one proclamation supporting the Census 2020. I am not going to read that. I've asked the council members if they've read it, and they said they have. So, and that proclamation is also on our website. So if you're interested in what it is, it's declaring that we support the 2020 census. There is no call to the public. There is no response to the public. We have a consent agenda. Does anyone want to pull anything from the consent agenda?
I'm good.
Hearing none, I'm going to ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda items 6A, B, and C. as
Second.
I have a motion and
Second.
a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Action items. The council may vote to recess the public meeting and hold an executive session on any item on this agenda pursuant to ARS 38-431-0383 for the purpose of discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney. Executive session is not open to the public. No action may be taken in executive session. Is our attorney with us?
Yes, sir,
Okay. So we're doing okay so far, huh?
so far.
Okay. First of all, item A is a public hearing regarding resolution number 2020-1153, proposing an alternate expenditure limitation referring to the voters of the town of Chino Valley. Mr. Duffy, you have three slides, right?
A few more than that, but
Okay.
I will try to keep it brief tonight, sir.
And then we'll open the hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a brief presentation prepared on the alternate expenditure limitation. I'd like to go through those slides, and then you can ask for public input. As you know, we have a alternate expenditure limitation election on August 4th, 2020. We do this about every 4 years, or actually we do it every 4 years. And what the alternate expenditure limitation is basically deciding whether you want to use a state formula to calculate how much the town can spend, or if you would like the voters to approve letting you guys determine how much we can spend every year. Just a quick little overview. In 1980, the Arizona voters approved a constitutional amendment which prescribed an expenditure limitation for each county, city, town, and community college district. And the purpose of that was to control expenditures and limit future increases in spending. So the idea, the concept was pretty good. It's like, okay, a community is spending this much, now let's do something to limit how much they can increase their expenditures. And so the town was under that state-imposed expenditure limitation until 1985 when citizens of Chino Valley approved the home rule option, which gave the council the authority to determine how much they could spend every year. And every 4 years since then, the community has voted for the home rule option. So the town's current option will expire in June of 2021. So on it. So with expenditure limitation, there's really three main options. One is a state limit, living under the state's formula. A permanent base adjustment, which basically adjusts the amount that we start with, or adjusts our base, and then we can multiply it by inflation and the increases in population. or the home rule. Now, the league is recommending that most communities start going to the permit-based adjustment, and over the last 4 years, several more have. So it's something that we need to consider going forward in the future. But so far, every 4 years, the home rule option has passed the town of Chino Valley. So just a quick look at what the other states are doing. Other communities in the state, 19 are in the state limit, 33 on the permit base, and 45 are under the home rule. So the state imposed expenditure limitation. What that is they created a formula, and I'll go over that really quickly, basically saying whatever your base amount, you can increase it every year annually for inflation and for your population growth. Well, the reason it doesn't work for Chino Valley is Chino Valley was really small back when they incorporated and back in 1980. And since then, we have grown really quick, or we've grown, but we added a lot more services like a senior center, library, and all that stuff. So the formula, although the concept was good, just didn't keep up with the amount that we're spending. And really, so under the state formula, we can spend about $9,800,000 next year. But what the town actually receives in revenue and budgets to spend is a little over $23.5 million a year. So you can see right there how the formula just hasn't kept up with the growth and the demand that our community wants from us for all of our services. So here's the formula really quick. Basically, we started with a population of 2,400 back in 1978, and now we're about 12,000. So our population has grown 5 times. Inflation during that time has gone up over 3 times. So we started with a base limit of 255,000. With our population inflation and then all the state allowed exemptions, we can only spend 9.89 based on this formula. And so what that does is this is the next 4 years that we have to project out. So this is what the voters will be approving. So each year we're receiving the $23,500,000 in revenues, and it goes up a little a year. But we wouldn't be able to spend that amount of money with the state limit. So what that would in fact have the community do is we'd have to cut back and just do our bare minimum services that we provide, like water and sewer, debt service, some public safety. But I think all your other services, like the senior center and community center, those would be pretty much off the table. Of course, Mayor and Council, you'd make that decision on what services we can continue to provide, but we could only spend about $10 million providing services versus the $23.5 million that we're doing now based on the revenues that we receive every fiscal year. So this is just a quick little look, basically how many, what the state expenditure limitation, essentially that $9.5 million versus what we're doing now. And as you can see, of course we do water and sewer, we do our debt service, public safety, and some general government type things, which could mean roads. But you as a mayor and council will decide what that looks like if the state expenditure limitation, if we had to follow the state expenditure limitation. So really, the takeaway from this whole presentation is who do you want to control the town's future? And this is what we're asking voters. Do you want it to be under state control, or basically the state-imposed formula developed based on 1980 data, where that formula sets our spending cap, and it's the amount we can spend. We're still going to bring in those revenues, but we just can't spend them. Or is the community going to let the local elected officials determine who spends it based on the amount of revenues that we have to spend? And so far, every home rule election we've had in our community, they've elected to have the council determine who spends, how much we can spend. So just remember that even though the town's revenues will still be received, we'll still receive that $23.5 million. We won't be able to spend it. So it'll just basically, I guess, be put in the bank. So a home rule option, a yes vote, will allow the town to set its own spending cap on actual revenues and local needs for the next 4 years. And we do that annually through our budget process. And a no vote will require the town to set its spending cap based on the state formula for at least the next 2 years. So if the voters voted down, we have to live under that state limit for 2 years before we can come back again and ask them if they'd like the home rule option. So we have lots of information. We're getting the word out like we do every 4 years. We have a voter information pamphlet on our website. We have a town mailer on our website that we will be mailing out. We do a brochure that we pass out. We do a frequently asked questions little thing that we also put on our website, and then we do video podcasts, website, Channel 57. Mayor and I will probably do a few radio shows with Matt, and so we get the word out between now and the election time. So that's all I have this evening.
Any questions on this side?
No.
Questions on this side?
Nope.
I need a motion to hold a public hearing.
I'll make a motion, we open up public hearing regarding resolution number 2020-1153.
Town clerk, do you have anything?
Second.
With motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Well, at this time for the public comment, I just want to go over some instructions for anybody that's on the phone. So if you wish to speak, quote unquote, raise your hand by entering *9. When you hear the prompt, you are unmuted. State your name clearly. Spell it if it is unusual, please. State whether you are or are not a town resident, and proceed with your question or comment. Thank you.
We have no one that wants to comment
What about
over the airways?
And I do not see anybody through the web either.
Anybody in the room would like to comment on home rule? Then I need a motion to close the public
I'll
hearing.
make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay. The next thing
All in
we,
favor?
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Me, no. Okay, that passes unanimously. We can go on to the next step. That is a special meeting. Pursuant to state law, council will recess the regular meeting and hold a special meeting to vote on the proposed alternate expenditure limitation resolution. I need a motion.
We just did that, didn't we?
No,
Okay.
we're going to a special meeting.
I'll make a motion that we go to special meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are in a special meeting. Quarter order, we need a roll call, please.
Of course. Councilmember Kelly.
Present.
Councilmember Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Perkins.
Here.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
Councilmember Best.
Here.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Here.
Mayor Croft.
Here. All right, item 2, consideration possible action to adopt resolution number 2020-1153, proposing an alternative expenditure limitation and referring the matter to the voters of Chino Valley on the August 4th, 2020 primary election ballot. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution number 2020-1153, proposing alternative expenditure limitation and referring the matter to the voters of Chino Valley on the August 4th, 2020 primary election ballot.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Now we need to resume the regular meeting.
We need to adjourn this one.
Do we have to make a motion to close the special meeting?
Unless,
And
yes,
reopen the,
we're adjourning from the special meeting and opening, going back to the regular meeting.
okay, I did so.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, now we're back to the regular meeting. We'll go to item 7, consideration possible action to adopt resolution number 2020-1156, approving a call of election for fall 2020, designating election date, purpose of election, deadline for voter registration, location and deadline for candidates to file nomination papers. Anybody gonna, I don't guess anybody's gonna make a,
Aaron's here.
Aaron, are you gonna make a presentation?
I don't believe that there was one scheduled.
Okay.
No.
Is there any questions on either side? Question on
me.
this side? It's pretty straightforward. We've done this a few times. So I will need a motion.
I make a motion, we adopt resolution number 2020-1156, approving call of election for fall of 2020.
Second it. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Your turn. Ron.
Mr. Turner,
Yes, sir.
it's your turn.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Meeting's adjourned.
Stay safe out there.
So we'll have to see what's going to happen the next meeting, so we'll let you know.
It's fastest one yet.
We may be doing that another method, I
Okay.
don't know.
Now get home and stay healthy.
Let's see what the governor does next week.
Good night, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Goodbye.